That's right! Welcome to the side of the ring because it's time for Ringside. Got a bunch of news lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, WWE is looking at returning to Saudi Arabia in late May per PW Insider. Alright, there's three options it could be. One is Backlash, because this is around the same time. May is around the same time when Backlash was happening last year. Battlegrounds, and there was a third one, actually, and I don't remember what it is, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go onto the, oh my goodness, I'm going to go onto the website, and I'm going to see. So, there was a draft, and then, so Backlash, Night of Champions, that's what it was, Night of Champions. So, there's a potential chance that it could be one of those three. My money's on Backlash because that's the closest, right? And it makes sense that, you know, if that's something that they want to do in Saudi Arabia, then perfectly fine. If you could just come over here for just a quick second. Now, this doesn't retain any water. I need you to take this with as many grain of salt as you possibly can. New pay-per-view? Not so much a new pay-per-view, but like a pay-per-view that they haven't done in a while, maybe like No Mercy or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there just for the sake of posterity, just in case that there's a potential chance that they could do it. New pay-per-view, maybe. Right? You know, pay-per-view we haven't heard in a while. Like, well, can't be great. I literally was about to say Great American Bash. Can't be that, because it's not in America. So, you know, but maybe something like that. You know, I was about to say Capital Punishment. Why do I keep going with American-based pay-per-view? You get the point, though, okay? You get the point. So, could be a new pay-per-view, you know, could just be Backlash or Night of Champions. My money's more than likely either going to be on Backlash or Night of Champions. That's like 99% what it's going to be, but I was just throwing the new pay-per-view idea out there. Just, you never know. And if it does end up being a new pay-per-view, don't come back to me, all right? Next, on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said this is the first WWE Hall of Fame class that is entirely being decided by Triple H. To that end, Paul Heyman is his first Hall of Fame inductee. Meltzer also said Haku could be announced for the WWE Hall of Fame 2024 class. Congratulations to both Paul Heyman and Haku, absolute legends of the business. Terrified of both of them, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. More terrified of Haku. I'd be confused if I walked down a dark alley and I saw Paul Heyman. But if I walked down a dark alley and I saw Haku, I would suddenly gain the ability to be able to dig underground. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be able to conjure the ability to stick my hands in whatever surface I could possibly find and dig underneath it to just get away from him. Because he terrifies me, and I don't want to be near the guy. Not really much to say. I already talked about, like, way back when, about how Triple H was in charge of the Hall of Fame, and I was like, that's very surprising because this is the first time that he's done it, and it doesn't really sound like something, you know, that normally happens, right? I mean, this is the first time that we're really hearing any rumblings of like, hey, this guy's in charge of it now. And I remember saying like, oh, I thought it was like a team. Like, I thought it was like a whole, like, you know, a 6-10 person team running around making sure that everything was being done properly. But the fact that it's being, I say that. I also think I said exactly this verbatim. I don't think Triple H is the only one doing it. I think that he's just the first person. This is the first time that he himself is in charge of it, which is a massive opportunity for him, right? Incredibly happy to hear that. So I doubt that he's gonna, you know, do anything to like mess it up or anything like that. So looking forward to the Hall of Fame and seeing how it goes. Sticking with Wrestling Observer, Meltzer seemed to hint that WWE may have changed plans on Raw this week related to The Miz and R-Truth after teasing them as Intercontinental title challengers, with spots in the upcoming Gauntlet match going to the likes of Ricochet and JD McDonough instead. I understand why. The Miz has already gotten his shot like more than once. Usually when you lose the second time around, it's like, all right, you know, move on, let's go to somebody else. There's not really much to say about that. Truth, unfortunately, has just not really showcased anything, right? It's giving McMahon regime where they're on TV, but they're not really doing anything. Like, they're not involved in any matches or anything like that. And now Triple H, now R-Truth has kind of gotten this narrative where it's like he's got like face blindness or something. At first, it was just like I thought it was just Kevin Owens, but I think he thinks that Gargano and Ciampa are Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I think, unless like that's a joke. I don't know, but. That's the reason why he's not, you know, qualifying for, which I say that, and if you put him in the match, I'm sure he would do great. Like, I know he would do great. I know he can wrestle, which is kind of infuriating because, like, he has the capabilities and they're not really, like, giving them to him, you know? So, I understand, right? The gauntlet match is going to be great. We all know Sami's going to win. The gauntlet match is going to be great. I would like Chad to win, to be totally honest with you, but we know it's going to be Sami. And to be fair, even if you put Miz and even if you added Miz and R-Truth to the gauntlet match, it would still be Sami. But I understand why they didn't put him in there. Finally, TNA Sacrifice this coming Friday is almost a legitimate sellout, says PW Insider. All right, so it's going to be Nick Nemeth versus Steve Macklin. ABC, which is Chris Bay and Ace Austin, are defending their TNA World Tag Team titles against The System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone in a singles match. And Time Machine, Chris Sabin, Kushida, and Kevin Knight versus Mustafa Ali and the Good Hands, John Skyler and Jason Hodge in a 6-man tag team match. It's also going to be Jordan Grace defending her TNA Knockouts. I knew it was Knockouts. I knew it was plural. Knockouts world title against Tasha Steelz with a Z. Jaya Brookside in a 3-way match. And Moose will defend his TNA World Championship against Eric Young. It's going to take place March 8th from St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So listen, if you're excited, if you're looking forward to it, I'm not going to be watching it. I haven't watched TNA since I was like in middle school going into high school. So if you're excited, if you're going to watch it, by all means, March 8th, going to be in Canada. So, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great. I like Time Machine. That seems like a really good name. And yeah, looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be great. What do we talk about? I don't know what the pay-per-view is going to be in late May, and my money's on Backlash. I could be wrong, though, okay? I'm just going to throw that out there because you don't know, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be 10 times out of 10, it's going to be Backlash. Or Night of Champions. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so it's the first time, the first time it's being decided entirely by Triple H. Again, like I said, I don't think that he's just by himself. I'm sure he's got a team. It's just like, he's the one who's like, hey, he goes there, which is a high honor. Like, I would love to have something like that bestowed upon me, so shout out to Triple H. Paul Heyman and Haku. Well, Paul Heyman is the first inductee. Haku he could be announced. He could be. And 9 times out of 10, I'm sure he's going to be legend of the business, you know what I mean? So, massive shout out for them. So, Miz and Truth, they, I guess, were hinted, but, like, they're not hinted anymore, which makes a lot of sense. Miz already got a bunch of opportunities, and Truth, I mean, he's not really doing a whole lot, let's be honest here, right? And, yeah, so the TNA Sacrifice, March 8th, a lot of matches announced. Sounds like it's going to be a great, sounds like it's going to be a great match. Sounds like it's going to be a great card. Shout out to Canada. And, yeah, hopefully it's going to be good. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.